It's kind of like if you're a 35-year-old man and you buy a GoPro, but you don't actually really do any kind of extreme sports. What else can you do but make movies about movies and put them on YouTube? Hey, what's up? It's Who the F is JC. I just got out of a screening of the new movie Ready Player One, and here's a red light review. This is your spoiler alert. Now, I'm going to be talking about things in the movie that happened, might ruin some surprises. I'm also going to talk about all the different references from pop culture and video games that you see in the movie. I'm going to try to keep this one as spoiler-free as possible. If you plan on seeing Ready Player One, make sure you maybe watch this review after you've seen it. Ready Player One, I guess it's based on a book. I've never read the book. I don't know anything about the book. All I know is it's got a lot to do with video games, and every trailer I see involves some sort of a crazy pop culture reference or video game reference from the 80s, 90s, or 2000s. So I'm already in. The movie takes place in the year 2045. Very futuristic. It's kind of it's almost a post-apocalyptic kind of is how they kind of portray it in the movie. The main character lives in what they call the Columbus Stacks, a bunch of like trailers stacked on top of each other. It's in Columbus, Ohio. It's kind of weird. To get where you need to go and to get to your place, you can just freely climb on top of your neighbor's roofs and walk through their homes. And everybody in the country, they're obsessed with this place called the Oasis. And the Oasis is essentially like it's almost like a Second Life type thing combined with virtual reality. You play video games, you win money. So anyways, everybody's obsessed with this thing called the Oasis. You can be whatever you want. You can live out whatever fantasy life you want to live. You can mountain climb with Batman. You can have a hot tub party with John Cena and Channing Tatum, and they bring the champagne. So life sucks so bad in the real world, like in reality, that everybody just wants to go to this oasis, live out their dreams and their fantasies, and not really deal with everyday, actual, real-life stuff. Now, the creator of this oasis, he died, and he created some Easter eggs within this game. What he said is, if you find these Easter eggs in the game, and you complete these challenges, you will be the owner of the oasis. So like you'll be rich, you can do whatever you want. So that kind of creates a few different factions of players that want to try to win these challenges, find these Easter eggs, and then claim the oasis to be their own. So you have like the people that are just in it to hunt for the Easter eggs. They pretty much run solo. They refer to them as gunters, egg hunters, or something like that. I don't forget what words they combine to make it. It sounds kind of dirty, but the gunters. And then there's other clans of people that work together. And then there's like a government agency clan that they pretty much force you into debt. And then in order to work off your debt, you have to work in the oasis to try to help find these Easter eggs. This works very similar to how student loans work. So you have these groups of people that are all trying to compete to complete these challenges, find these Easter eggs, and become the owners of the oasis. This main character, he's a gunter. He's got about 3 or 4 other gunters that he works with online, and the story pretty much follows him and his friend's adventure in finding the Easter eggs. All right, I'll say this about the movie. This movie was a ton of fun. It was a solid like video game adventure. It's a blast, dude. If you're into video games and adventure, you will love this movie. It's really got a Spielberg like adventure vibe, but in a good way. Just the whole movie from start to end. It had to be at least 2 hours. Just short of 2 hours, and it didn't feel that way whatsoever. Tons of cameos and references from video games. I'm gonna try to name as many as I could possibly come up with. Mortal Kombat, Harley Quinn, Gundam, King Kong, Halo. I think Street Sharks were there. Street Fighter, the DeLorean from Back to the Future, Battletoads, Marvin the Martian, some other Looney Tunes, Batman, Joker, Madballs, Mechagodzilla. There's so many cameos and references, I can't even name them all. The scene towards the end of the movie that's like fucking the most epic Star Wars-esque battle you've ever seen take place. But everybody that's fighting is some sort of a pop culture or video game reference from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. It's epic. It's worth the price of admission just to see Mechagodzilla fight the Iron Giant and a Gundam robot. Like, it's awesome. For the special effects, anything that takes place in the Oasis is done in kind of like the Avatar or Polar Express type special effects. They almost look real. It's kind of creepy how the people look. I would almost best describe this as like almost like a futuristic Indiana Jones. There's puzzles that they had to try to solve to find these artifacts. It also has kind of like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory kind of twist to it. I would say this is kind of like if Charlie and the Chocolate Factory met Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, and they fucked in the future, this is the baby that would come out. But one of the best parts about this movie too, totally a kid-friendly movie. There's adult humor mixed in with some innuendo type stuff, a couple adult jokes that only adults would understand. It would go right over your kid's head. So if you got a kid that's a gamer, great movie to take him to see. Not a lot of big name stars in the movie. T.J. Miller's in it. Yeah, he voices one of the characters. Simon Pegg is also in it. Maybe the kids that are in the movie, maybe they're big name stars, but I'm not familiar with any of them. Now, I don't know if it was intentional or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. This dude's playing all these video games. He wins, and what's he do? He gets the girl. He gets his first kiss. That one thing that every little video game nerd who sits in his basement and dreams about. One day, kissing a girl, and it happens. Some of the humor in the movie directly reflects modern day gamers. They make some jokes about gamers could be a 300-pound nerd in somebody's basement. Jokes and references that we would make modern day about what we assume the average gamer to be. There's not a whole lot of bad I could say about the movie. The only thing that I would really say is sometimes I feel like they tried to squeeze too many cameos, too many references in that one scene. Some of the battles got like too busy, too crazy. It was hard to focus on what was going on. I don't know if that was to kind of like mask some of the references or some of the cameos they were trying to make. Like maybe they didn't have full permission to use some of the Star Wars characters, but I feel like there's kind of like, you might have saw Boba Fett or Jango Fett in there. I felt like I saw some Transformers in there. I don't think that they got permission to use those characters. Other than that, man, I thought the movie was great. I would say don't sleep on this one. Maybe you don't want to see it opening weekend, but I definitely see it as soon as you possibly can. Did a great job. And again, I loved all the references from pop culture and video games that were in there. The humor about video games and gamers and gamer culture. And I feel like they also kind of tried to show some parallels into modern day. We're kind of too obsessed with being on our phones, or we're too obsessed with always being on the internet and always on social media. I feel like they kind of has a good message in that regard. If you're into video games, if you're into action adventure movies, go see this one. All right, well, that's going to do it for this Red Light review of Ready Player One. I hope you liked what you saw. Don't forget to like, comment, and share the post. If you go see the movie, let me know what you thought too. And you know what? It wouldn't hurt if you subscribe to my channel. More Red Light reviews on the way.